Good morning, Oklahoma, and welcome to Cow-Calf Corner. This week's topic, we get into some issues that are potentially a hidden defect in beef carcasses, particularly from that of bulls or cull cows, and some information that we get from our most recent National Beef Quality Audit. You know, we started doing these national audits back in the early 90s, and it's been a great success story for our industry that a lot of things that were identified there 30 to 35 years ago with regard to the consistency of beef, the product, the quality of it, fewer injection site blemishes from giving vaccinations or antibiotics in the wrong spot. We've made a tremendous amount of improvement in a lot of ways based on what we've learned every few years of doing these audits. One of the things that showed up in the early 90s was foreign objects in beef carcasses. And there are a lot of different things that may end up in a beef carcass, but the one we get into in more detail today is a result of people actually working cattle with shotguns. It's the incidence of buckshot or birdshot that we find in those beef carcasses. We saw this at a fairly high level 35 years ago, and our 2022 audit indicates that we're still dealing with this at a fairly high level. What is the issue to having birdshot in a beef carcass? Well, virtually all the packers and further processors indicate that they are finding this at a much higher level than any other kind of foreign object that might end up in a beef carcass. And to get to the bottom line, the issue is people that are working cattle and using shotguns. And so we're going to just say that is inappropriate, it's inhumane. And no matter how frustrated you may get in trying to round up herd bulls or a set of waspy cows, using shotguns to work them is not an acceptable practice. Whether it's accidental or on purpose, that birdshot does not bounce off and go away. It ends up in a carcass and leads to a lot of concern. It's not only the economic loss in the processing industry, it is the potential that somebody chips a tooth eating a burger patty that's made out of it. It decreases consumer confidence in our product as a result of this. And so we need to share the word, whether it's producer meetings, word of mouth, or through education. We need to share the word that we don't need to be using shotguns when working cattle, because this is a blemish on our industry. And for all the positives that have came out of our national beef quality audits over the years, this is one that we are still seeing a problem with, that we as an industry need to address. Hope this helps. Share the word. And thanks for being with us on Cow-Calf Corner.